We all are familiar with these sounds, right? And let's be honest, they always seem to embarrass us in the most cautious situations. Whether it's a sneeze in a silent meeting or a hiccup during a big interview, our bodies have a funny way of betraying us. But have you ever wondered what if a simple tiny yawn could actually change history? Welcome back to Toon English Tales. Today we are traveling to the golden palaces of the Vijayanagara Empire. We are going to see how a legendary king, a very tired queen, and the brilliant wit of Tenali Rama turned a royal temper tantrum into a life lesson, using nothing but a bowl of magic seeds. Stick around because by the end of this story, you will never look at a yawn the same way again. King Krishnadeva Raya was a great ruler, a brave warrior, and a patron of the arts. But he had one tiny flaw. He believed he was the greatest poet to ever live. One evening, after a long day of ruling the empire, the king was struck by inspiration. He scribbled away for hours. Meanwhile, Queen Thirumalambal had also had a long day. She had managed the palace, met with officials, and was ready to sleep. But then the king burst in. "My queen, I have written a masterpiece. It is filled with deep, vague beauty. The sun, the moon, the stars." The queen smiled, trying to be supportive. The king began to read. His voice was a low, steady drone. "Oh, the sky is like a blue bowl, and the clouds are like fluffy sheep." It was boring. It was really boring. The queen's eyelids felt like lead weights. She pinched her arm to stay awake. She counted the pillars in the room, but then, as the king described, the shimmering dew on a lonely leaf, it happened. The king stopped. The silence was terrifying. The king looked angry and upset at the same time. The queen tried to apologize, but the king's pride was wounded. "Did you just yawn at my art? Clearly, you have no taste. If my poetry is just a lullaby to you, then I have nothing more to say." He stormed out, vowing not to speak to her until she learned respect. Days turned into weeks. The once cheerful palace felt like a tomb. The king sat on his ornate throne, his expression stern, his sharp eyes scanning the room. He didn't laugh, he didn't joke, he just brooded over that yawn. The queen was distraught. She tried to send messages, but the king ignored them. Finally, she realized there was only one person clever enough to fix this. She sent for the court's brilliant and witty poet, Tenali Rama. When Rama arrived, the queen recounted the incident in detail. She pleaded, "Help me, Rama. Only you can help the king understand that I wasn't being rude. I was just exhausted." Rama nodded thoughtfully. He didn't rush in to argue. He knew that if you tell a proud king he is being silly, you might lose your head. He said, "Your Highness, this needs a strategy, a well-planned approach. Give me until tomorrow morning." The next morning, the royal court was bustling with activity. The air was thick with tension. The king sat on his throne, his eyes like flint. Suddenly, the doors opened. Tenali Rama walked in, standing quietly at the edge of the court with an amused smile. Then he stepped forward, carrying a plate full of paddy seeds. Rama called out, "Your Majesty, I bring you a gift that will change the empire. These are revolutionary paddy seeds. If we sow these, the yield, the harvest will be 3 times greater than anything we have ever seen." The ministers began to murmur, Magic seeds, magic seeds. One whispered, Is he serious? The king was unimpressed. That sounds absurd, Rama. Such cultivation would need special soil, manure, and insect repellents. If these fail, our farmers will suffer. What is the catch? Rama remained unfazed. The seeds are perfect, Your Majesty, but they have one condition. They are pure seeds. They will only grow if the person who plants them is also pure of heart. The king tilted his head and asked, What does this mean, Rama? Rama smiled. It means the person sowing them must never have had the habit of yawning while they work. If a person who yawns while reciting or working touches these seeds, they will rot in the ground and the harvest will be lost. The court went silent. The ministers looked at their hands. Every single person in that room had yawned at work at least once. The king frowned. What is wrong with the person who sows the seeds? Speak clearly, Rama. Rama looked the king directly in the eye. If one were to sow seeds without proper care, no one would reap a harvest. But tell me, Your Majesty, is there anyone in this world who does not yawn? It is as natural as breathing. Even the sun and moon would yawn if they had to stay up as long as we do. The king's expression shifted. Realization dawned. His mind raced back to the quarrel with the queen. He remembered scolding her harshly for that one yawn. He looked at the seeds and then at Rama's twinkling eyes. Suddenly, the king let out a massive, genuine yawn himself. The court froze. The king began to laugh. Rama, you clever rogue, you have made me see how unfair I have been. If I cannot even control my own yawns, how can I take hers so personally? That evening, the king approached the queen with a softened expression. He began in gentle voice, Thirumalambal, I have been foolish. I let my pride blind me. I am so sorry. The queen smiled. The quarrel was left behind and the palace once again brimmed with joy. Tenali Rama had orchestrated a settlement that saved a marriage and taught the king a lesson in wisdom, all with a handful of regular seeds. So the next time someone yawns while you are talking, maybe just finish your story a little faster.